I'm Cal Cagno from Cal & Company on 89X here with Josh and Tyler from 21 Pilots. We're here, guys. Backstage of the show. Where do you guys feel the most comfortable? Is it in an interview, which I'm going to guess is no? Yes. Is it on stage or is it in the studio? Where do you feel most comfortable as 21 Pilots?
I would put interview third for sure.
I would imagine most bands are like that. But then, okay, truthfully, I wanted to know because really, which is it, studio or on stage?
Yeah, no, that is a good question. I think that it actually changes when you. I mean, it makes sense, but as we stay out on the road longer, we really crave that kind of like smaller environment where we're creating new music. But then, man, once we start working on music, all we want to do is show people on stage. So it changes a lot. For me right now, I guess we just started a new tour that a lot of new things, so it's still very fresh, but definitely starting to get towards that itchy feeling of wanting to get back in the studio. So
now, all the stuff that you guys do on stage, on records, you've said in songs. What is the thing that when you're walking around in your hometown, people ask you about the most? Like, what do you get recognized for the most? Is it something very mundane, or is it something that, oh, you're in the band, or what is it most that people recognize you for? Do you see what I'm saying, or no? Or is that a kind of a weird question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, are people like, oh, you're the guys who wear the ski masks? Something really random where you're like, dude, we did a lot of things besides the freaking ski mask. We've done a lot. Like, we've wrote a lot of good records. Why do you only talk about the ski mask?
Yeah, well, so you'd be surprised as we move about our lives, going by normal people who don't, know who we are or anything. I mean, all the time when we're touring, they'll either find out that we're a band because of how many people we have or our gear, and maybe it's like a driver or someone who works for an airline or something. They'll say, oh, what's the band name? And we say 21 Pilots, and they go, oh, like just for years it was just, oh, cool, never heard of them, basically. And
for the local alt rock band.
For the first time ever, we had a guy who was driving us from a hotel room to an airport, and he said, oh, what's the band name? We said 21 Pilots. He still said, oh, never heard of them. And then he goes, wait, Stressed Out.
Nice, there it is, dude.
And I was like, oh my gosh, it happened. Like someone kind of like random kind of put it together all of a sudden, and then it got weird.
Well, then what do you say back, right? Like, you say, yep, that's us.
That's us, man.
And then you're like, do I sing the song to you?
Yeah, now it's like we bust it out. Yeah. We get our drums out for our driver and prove to him, no, we really
that you're not
did.
imposters.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you know you made it? Like, I mean, seriously, you guys 2 years ago were doing Turkeycella for 80NX, which was a show, I don't even know if you remember that. It was the night before Thanksgiving. Yeah. You're getting played on 80NX. Now you're playing DTE. You're selling out shows in 15, 20 minutes. Skeleton Click's huge. When did you know that, like, legitimately, like, we're going to be okay? Like, I'm not going to having to go back to wash dishes.
Well, I think I still kind of, like, go to bed every night thinking that I'm going to wake up and the whole thing's going to be done or over, or we show up to a venue and just literally nobody's there. Yeah, that's like, I think we both still have, like, actual dreams about that. And so I think that's one thing that I like that, though, because I think we continue to try and work hard because of it. But I think that one of the coolest moments for us is when we sold out a venue in our hometown in Columbus called the Newport Music Hall, and that was just kind of, I guess everyone has their kind of like hometown venue that they go and see shows all the time, and as a musician you kind of have dreams to go and play that. You're just like, I want to be on that stage someday, and when we were able to play it and sell it out, it was a really cool moment for us, I think.
Yeah, that show, and then I'm trying to think, it obviously kind of like happens in different forms, whether it's there's a lot of chart stuff that happens we don't really understand as far as whether it's a single or an album. A lot of people equate something like that to having made it, but we just thought it was one of our shows actually. We gave our moms gift cards to like a nicer hair salon place.
That's what I'm saying.
And it was like it was just really cool because they were getting their hair cut at like Great Clips or something, just really like not great.
And like by definition, it's not great.
Mediocre clips. And so that was a cool moment because we passed the gift cards to the front like the people in the front row and said, we're not going to play the next song until you make sure that they get all the way to our moms up in the balcony. So we waited and people ran it all the way up to them.
And then there's that part of you, like you were talking about a minute ago, where no one passes it and you're like, crap, we said that we were going to play a song.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to call security.
Another woman with horrible hair like runs out with it.
Because she's offended because she's the VP of Great Clips. And you're like, oh, God, this is bad news. Yeah. All right, so you got the big wheels from the video. We actually are giving one of those away. I don't know if you guys even knew that. So we gave one away. Everyone's been riding it in the office. So cool. Did you get to keep those? Do you actually own those, or were those only for the video?
Yeah, we have those. My dad's been trying to get them out of his garage for a little while.
Yeah, I feel bad. We kind of just cut the video at his parents' house and then left everything and then just went on the road.
He wants them gone because he's always just too tempted to drive it to work.
Right. You mean he's too chicken? He's too chicken to actually make it happen.
He might just be too embarrassed to show up in fear of what, the coworkers.
What others would say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, besides the big wheels, though, what's the most baller thing you bought yourself? Because we had Ryan Sheckler on my show. You know Ryan Sheckler? Remember, like, Life of Ryan or that? Yeah. He was on my show. He's now 27. Yeah. Okay. So he said to me, I said to him, what's the most baller thing you bought yourself? And he said, sadly, I was 19 and bought myself a $200,000 necklace, and I want to punch myself for doing that.
Wow.
Have you had anything that you bought that you're like, okay, now that I've made it a little bit, did you buy yourself a nice car, or don't you want to talk about that?
No, actually, it's not so much. It's
nice.
It's a used car.
It's not it's but I'm renting it though. Pretty much. I'm never home to drive it.
I think the thing for me, when you are strapped for cash, and I don't promote getting pulled over, but when you get pulled over and the ticket is like $150, you look at that and you're like, that's a week and a half of my life right there that just happened. I mean, it's just the most devastating thing in the world.
It's a kick in the nuts.
And now, if I ever get pulled over, it's like, it's a little bit okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can kind of, you know what? I shouldn't have done that. That's a waste of money. I get it. But, I'm not going to be super depressed about it like I used to.
And you could always hum stressed out to the cop, and you might get out of it because of it.
I feel like he would just, lock me up if I did that. But, yeah, no, I bought myself a little less stress. There you go.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. If that's not the perfect way to end this interview, that is it. He should be on the radio with an ending like that.
Yeah.